Every class has a special student. And ours was no exception. This next comic who you're going to see, she is a thriving comedian here in the Dallas-Fort Worth community. You might have seen her on the Purvis Wilson Funniest Comedian in Dallas contest. She was one of the finalists. So she was also my TA for this session. So please welcome Kaitlyn McWilliams. Give it up for her. Yeah!
Woo! Special student alert. All right, who's out here drinking today?
Yeah!
Hell yeah, you guys are my people because it is 1 p.m. on a Sunday. And we're out here, no one can tell us anything about it, right? Because it's entertaining. I actually saw a recent study that said that alcohol consumption in America is decreasing, which is really interesting because I think conversely, there's been an increase in people being a fucking liar. I mean, come on, where are they getting these statistics? From the questionnaire we fill out before we go to the doctor's office? And they're always so honest on those. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but I don't do this for a living. I'm actually an engineer by day. Thank you. And you might think that engineering is tough because of things like math and science, but truly the hardest part about my job is trying to communicate with men. Most people do, you know? And when I first started out in obviously a male-dominated field, people would warn me. They'd say things like, watch out, men are creepy, you're gonna get hit on constantly. And so now I'm just like disappointed. Not as often as I was expecting, you know? But really, the guys I work with are not creepy at all. If anything, it's more like having multiple dads, you know? Because if something goes wrong with my car, I'm not gonna call my real dad, hell no. I'm gonna call work dad number 3. Because he's gonna fix it cheaper, faster, and without yelling at me the whole time. It really is just like having a profile on rentadaddy.com. You know, not to be confused with sugardaddy.com, but it is similar. I mean, they'll still take you out and get you drunk, but afterwards, you don't even have to suck their dick. But you are gonna have to teach them how to do Excel. And I don't know which one is worse. But I know which one is harder. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about quitting my job recently, mainly because they've been sending me to Arkansas so much. I'm starting to think my own cousins are hot. Which is concerning. And it's like a lot of driving. And if you can't tell from looking at me, I'm not particularly a good driver. Okay, I'm 5 feet tall, I can barely reach the pedals. I have to sit so close to the steering wheel, my nipples get sore. And the travel in general, I don't know. The other day, I was flying and I had this thought. Do you ever feel like when pilots tell you how high you're flying is like a similar vibe to a guy trying to explain how big his thing is? They're like, this is your pilot speaking. We've reached our cruising altitude of about 38,000 feet, which, by the way, is a pretty high height. Way higher than the average pilot. Way higher than our co-pilot John could have gotten us. So sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. We have a pretty smooth one here for you. A couple bumps here and there. Don't worry, they're not contagious. And then you have to sit there and be like, I don't really care. As long as you get me to where I need to go, brother. We can brag all we want once we land the plane. I don't know, I'm confused. I'm confused like a lot of my life. Something I'm still confused about is like how to spell the word diarrhea. I don't know how to spell it. I don't really feel bad about it. And before you guys come at me and they're like, it has an H in it. I know, I just don't know where it goes. And I'm pretty sure it's silent, unless you're having it. It was the appropriate response. Something else I'm confused about. I'm confused when I go to the bathroom with my girlfriends and they use that like rinky-dink toilet seat cover. You know what I'm talking about? The little paper one. Because I'm like, in my head, bitch, you just got done telling me how you had a one-night stand and you didn't use protection. Like, you're going to convince me that you need to protect your butt skin from some porcelain that is cleaner than your iPhone? But you're gonna let Chad put his dirty little naked dick inside you? Oh my gosh. And they don't just do it at like dirty bars, right? They'll do it, I heard my friend do it at a Whole Foods the other day. It's like, what are you afraid of, an organic STD? And then they call me up with their problems and they'll be like, hey Kaitlyn, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And then I have to be like, oh my God, like at least we can roll out the toilet seat. But I don't know, they're my friends. I might be being a little harsh, and this might get political, but if we were in this situation, I would hold their hand during an abortion. Especially because we live in Texas, so each one comes with a vacation! Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, you know, if you couldn't tell, I'm in my mid-20s. And your mid-20s is that weird time of life where people stop using phrases like life of the party and start using phrases like raging alcoholic. And it's fine, you know, I've been getting that from my family since I was like 7. But it's just getting harder to deny, you know, because there's a lot more data points and my graph is trending Frank Gallagher. But as I'm getting older, you know, I'm trying to build better habits. I think it's going well. For example, my weekend routine no longer consists of me dry swallowing Plan B. I'm using water now. And speaking of which, I saw another study that said the female birth control hormones are getting into our water supply, which I think is the only valid reason on why all these men are acting like bitches. Are we a fan of EDM music in the crowd? You guys know what it is? Some people are staring at me like, what are you talking about? EDM, like, that didn't ring any bells. They're still staring at me. Electronic dance music, anyone? Okay, there we go, we got a couple on board. I really like EDM music, and I have a theory about people who like it, that they grew up in households where they listen to scratched CDs. And if you don't get that joke, maybe you grew up in a household where someone took care of your things for you. Maybe you also got to go to the dentist, I don't know. No, I grew up in a household where all of my CDs were scratched, but we listened to them anyway because it was way better than hearing our parents fight. So every road trip in my family was like, feel the rain on your skin, 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 skin. Paulette, you're being a bitch. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. Gerald, not in front of the kids. Add in the bass drop. No one else, no one else. The rest is still unwritten. Just like the end of that joke. Thank you guys. My name is Kaitlyn McWilliams. You have a wonderful lineup today. So excited. Your next comic, he was not in our class, but he was in someone's class. It's Daniel Valencia.